The story of the early church began not with a peaceful spread, but in a baptism of fire. While the apostles preached in Jerusalem, a young, brilliant, and violent Pharisee named Saul of Tarsus stood by, watching as the first martyr, Stephen, was stoned to death. Saul didn't just disagree with the followers of Jesus. He viewed them as a cancer to be removed. He was a man of the law, a zealot who believed he was doing God's work by wiping out the heresy of the way. But Jerusalem wasn't enough for Saul. He sought a total purge. He went to the high priest and demanded letters of authority to travel 135 miles north to Damascus. His plan was simple: find any men or women who belonged to the way, bind them in chains, and drag them back to Jerusalem for trial and execution. Imagine the fear in the hearts of the early Christians as news reached them that the wolf of Tarsus was on his way. It was on that dusty, sun-scorched road to Damascus that the impossible happened. At high noon, when the sun is at its fiercest, a light erupted from the heavens that was so brilliant it made the midday sun look like a shadow. Saul was knocked from his horse, collapsing into the dirt. In the silence of the desert, a voice resonated with the power of thunder. "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" Saul, trembling and blinded, asked the question that would redefine his life. "Who are you, Lord?" The reply shattered his world. "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting." In that moment, Saul realized that by attacking the church, he was attacking the Son of God himself. For 3 days, the man who had relied on his brilliant intellect and sight was plunged into total darkness. He ate nothing, he drank nothing. He sat in a house on a street called Straight, praying and waiting. Meanwhile, God spoke to a humble believer named Ananias, telling him to go and heal Saul. Ananias was terrified. He knew Saul's reputation, but God told him, "Go, for he is a chosen vessel of mine." When Ananias laid hands on him, something like scales fell from Saul's eyes. He didn't just regain his physical sight, he gained spiritual vision. The man who arrived in Damascus to arrest Christians left as a man who would be arrested for Christ. He changed his name to Paul, and the hunter of the church became its greatest architect, writing nearly half of the New Testament and spreading the gospel across the known world. The conclusion, the story of Paul, is the ultimate reminder that no one is too far gone. No heart is too hard for God to soften, and no past is too dark for God's light to shine through. Type Amen if you believe that God can turn your greatest struggle into your greatest ministry.